So we want to welcome to you all to this Sunday morning, which is Halloween, and it's very exciting, and I love all the costumes that are here, and we look forward to our time after church today. But also today is very significant. It is Reformation Sunday, and Veronica Gould would be so proud of me because I'm going to be preaching Lutheranism today about Martin Luther. So what happened today with Martin Luther in 1517 was that he pounded his 95 edicts on the Wittenberg door. And that's in Germany. And I don't know, how many of you know about the Wittenberg door and the 95 edicts? If you can just, okay. So this is a huge deal, and I'm excited to tell you all that. Do you know about it? Oh, there you go. So this is how nerdy I am. In 2017, guess what I did? I went to Wittenberg, Germany. And because Martin Luther posted his 95 edicts on the Wittenberg door, I went to Germany and I posted my 95 edicts on the Wittenberg door. And so what he had done was he was saying to the church, we need to change some things. Everything is not okay. We need to shake things up. So we also have to keep in context that Martin Luther was a Catholic priest. And he was saying, look, this is not okay, what is happening. Because the church at that time was trying to build St. Peter's Basilica, or trying to build this church. So what the church was saying is, okay, if you have sinned, instead of going to confession, just pay us an indulgence. So pay us money instead of confessing to God, and then you're good. You know, and that's the way that you can take care of being forgiven. And Martin Luther was like, what? You've got to be kidding. And there was just some things that he would just felt like just wasn't right. And so he was challenging the church. When you challenge the church, though, because it had happened before, people were being killed for it. It was not, you know, that when they would challenge, they were not getting away with it. So here's what changed everything: the printing press. The printing press came into being, and then because the printing press happened, he was able to get all of his news out, and people were able to read the information. Also, at the time, everything was done in Latin. If you live in Germany, do you think there's many people that would speak Latin? No, they're going to speak German. So you want to know what Martin Luther did? Yeah. Carla, do you want to know? Are you on the edge of your seats? He translated the entire Bible into German. What Martin Luther had done was translated the Bible into German. It's really thick. And so what happened was now everybody had access to God. Or before, it was just the elites or just the priests or just the church. But Martin Luther was like, if this is God, if this is Jesus that we're all trying to get access to, then everyone needs to be able to read the Bible and be able to make their own opinions. So just all of that in itself was enough for people to take Martin Luther out. And so what he did was he even went a step further and posted 95 edicts on the Wittenberg door saying why the church needed to change. Essentially, what he was saying, these are old wineskins. We cannot just put little patches on these wineskins because it's going to burst and it's going to break. We need new wineskins all together. Because Martin Luther was brave and posted those 95 edicts on the Wittenberg door on October 31st, 1517, and risked his life to do so, that began the Protestant Reformation. And because of Martin Luther, I, as a woman, am now able to preach and be in a pulpit, where that would not have happened at all had things continued the way they were. So I personally need to thank Martin Luther for his work and what he has done by saying to the church, we are reformed and continually reforming. So then that's where we get John Calvin, that's where we get John Knox, that's also where we get Teresa of Avila, that's where we get Julian of Norwich, where we have women now that can be a part of the conversation and an equal person at the table. So I just really appreciate Martin Luther and all that he has done. And then also that's where Martin Luther King got his name, because his father changed his name to Martin Luther after Martin Luther because of the work that he did by being brave. And one of the things that Martin Luther said is that we will be judged not on what we say, but also by what we don't say. And that was a big thing for Martin Luther King. So that began his activism after Martin Luther. So here we have this Protestant Reformation Day, but also it is Halloween. And sometimes, as you were saying, like in a previous church that you were at, and it's also like at other churches I've worked at as well. And this is, again, why I love Parkview, and there's so many reasons why to love Parkview, right? But you all are okay with Halloween and celebrating it. So what does Halloween mean? It means All Hallows Eve. All Holy Eve is actually a religious celebration. Because if it's a Holy Eve, what is it the Holy Eve of? November 1st, which is All Saints' Day. So this is the time when we remember all of the saints. So I know here at Parkview it's around Memorial Day when you celebrate this, when you remember your loved ones who have gone before. But for all of our Latinx siblings around the world, this is the time when we also have Dia de los Muertos, where we remember those who have gone before. And I just learned this, that on November 1st is the time when you remember the children, and November 2nd is when you remember adults. So this is where you have the big gatherings, you have the celebrations. If any of you have seen the children's movie Coco, you know what it's saying is you want to remember those who you have loved and those who have connected you to God. You know, so with like Martin Luther, one of the things I love about Martin Luther was that he helped people gain access to God. Who are the loved ones in your life that have helped you gain access to God? Who are the saints and loved ones in your life that really stand out to you, where you want to remember their memory? You know, you've seen those big orange marigolds that are there and around those celebrations or there's those memorials. I asked about that. And they said if you crumple it up, who knows? But it smells of bone marrow. And that's why they have the orange marigolds, but also for the brightness to show the way for loved ones to come and be with them. And then also, if someone loved Snickers, you would leave like a Snickers there, or you have bread. You leave all the different things that your loved ones would have enjoyed. So for instance, like my dad, he smoked a pipe. So if I were to build an altar for him, I would put out his pipe and tobacco. So it's just a beautiful time of memory and remembering those who have gone before. So who has given us access to God? Who has given us a new connection? One of those people that I'd like to share with you now is my sister's best friend. And her name was Kalpana Chawla. And Kalpana was an astronaut. And she had the opportunity to go up in a space shuttle twice. Sadly, she was on the space shuttle Columbia. And as we all know, the Space Shuttle Columbia didn't make it back to Earth. And when I was living in Australia when I had this radio show. I think I told you about this on a few Sundays ago, where I worked. I was part of a national radio show, and I was able to interview Kolpina. And she talked about the beauty of the earth. And again, this is what I love about Martin Luther, because even though he was an activist, he was also an environmentalist, because he once said, even if I were to know that the world was to end tomorrow, I would still plant my apple tree today. And Kolpina told me about what it was like to be up in space, the beauty of the earth, looking down back at the earth. And she just talked about the starkness of space and black. And it's just, there's no life out there. Yes, there's stars, but there's just no life. And when you look at the earth, how beautiful it is, how lovely it is, how there's life and gardens and food and plants. And she said that when she would look back down on the earth, she would also say, but even right now, what's going down on the earth, there's wars and people are dying and people are killing each other. And if she was just hoping that if we could just know the beauty of the earth. And so I also am thinking about Kolpina these days, because are any of you Star Trek fans? William Shatner goes into space, right? So he was an astronaut, goes up into space. But one of the things, if you saw his interview afterwards, was just how amazed he was, where it was blue, 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 and then that our atmosphere is so thin, it's only 50 miles. And so he said, once you go through it, boom, then all of a sudden it's dark and it's just black. And he said that when he looked at that, he could just see, wow, it's just death out there. And he goes, I hope people understand the significance of the fragility of our earth and how we need to take care of it. And he said, I hope I never get over this moment. So these are some saints or some folks that are in my mind. And I'm thinking about Kolpina on this day, but I'm also thinking about my parents. I'm thinking about people who have been my mentors. I'm thinking about my ancestors. I'm thinking about all those who have helped me get a new glimpse into the face of God. So when we do this on this day, this Reformation Sunday, may we be reformed and continually reforming. We're always changing every day, but may we have the bravery to do what Martin Luther and Martin Luther King had, to say, no, this is not okay, and to be an activist and to stand up when we see that when something is not right, and to say boldly, we need new wineskins, but also the loved ones that are in our lives who shine that bright light in all of us. And may we be able to continue to shine their light. And as the scripture says in the book of Isaiah, arise, your light has come. May we be able to do that boldly. And may we be able to thank those who have gone before, who have changed our lives. And may it be those who help us to see God through the face of nature, through the face of the skies, the stars, the clouds, the trees. And may we plant our apple trees today so for future generations of children to come. But on this day, most of all, may we shine our light, and may we shine it brightly, and may we shine it on a hill and a lampstand for everyone to see. So my dear friends, happy All Hallows Eve and happy Reformation Sunday. And all of God's children said, amen.